All right, let's do some more F5 debugging, but this time let's use mirror-d. So I have this application that's running in my AKS cluster called Kaito Chat, and let's just go navigate to it real quick so I can show you what I want to test here. I'll just run a get service command, and here's my application, Kaito Chat demo, which is available at this public IP. So I jump over to my Edge browser, and if I just navigate to that, you can see here that I have a demo application that's been written using Streamlit and LangChain behind the scene. But the cool part is that it's actually connecting to a workspace that I deployed into my AKS cluster using Kaito. And so here I have a workspace using the DeepSeek R1 model. And you can see that that's been pre-configured. This is actually the name of the service. So if I just go back, you can see here, this is the name of the service. And that's the backend service that this demo chat app is connected to. Now, here's what I want to do. If I just ask it a question, what is the best way to learn about Kubernetes and Azure Kubernetes service? You can see here that when I actually run this query against the model, you saw up there that there was some thinking, some processing going on. And when it got the response, it just dumped the entire response here. What I want to do is I actually want to update my application so that it's streaming the response, right? Because this DeepSeek model does a little bit of thinking on its own. And as it's thinking, I actually wanted to stream the output into my application. So how do I do that? Well, I've already done that. If you just kind of take a look at the code here, collapse that down a little bit, I've done a little bit of work to actually stream the response and then basically chunk the response out into my UI. And if I head over to this Kaito file over here, same deal. I've set the payload to actually stream the response. And then as it's receiving the response lines, just kind of go through it, decode it, and kind of pop them into the chat UI as it's getting the data. So I have the code written, but how can I test this? I don't have a local DeepSeek model running on my local machine here. And so what I can do is I can actually leverage a local development tool called mirror-d. And if I just pop over to their website real quick, I can actually use this tool to basically create a tunnel between my local machine and the resources that are running in my Kubernetes cluster. And so very much like the telepresence demo that I did a few weeks ago, this works in pretty much the same way. So what do I need to do to get started? Well, we need to install mirror-d. So what we could do is head down over here to the quick start. And the quick start has a instruction set for installing the CLI. You can actually use brew on Linux. And I think that's something that a lot of folks don't really know is I'm running this on my Ubuntu machine. So I have homebrew running on my machine here. And then you can literally run the brew install metalbear mirror-d command to install that. Or if you want, you can actually do the curl pipe bash to install the executable on your machine as well. Okay, so I already have that installed on my machine. Can I run mirror-d commands from my terminal at that point? Sure, why not? So if I run mirror-d, yep, you can see I have all of the commands here available to me. That's great, but what's even better is that I can actually run and use mirror-d right from my VS Code editor. And so if you just navigate to your extensions in VS Code, and just do a search for mirror-d, you should see the mirror-d extension that's been published by the folks at metalbear. And likewise, if you head over to the Visual Studio Marketplace and do a search for mirror-d, you'll find the same exact thing. And then you could even find a command to install the extension as well, but just install it from the VS Code editor itself. Now, once you have mirror-d installed in your VS Code editor, you'll see this little thing, mirror-d, and you can see that it's disabled. What you can do is you can actually just toggle this thing and it's been enabled. From there, all you need to do is, number one, you need to make sure that your application has VS Code launch config and any tasks that you might need. And so here I'm running a Streamlit application. And so I need to give it information on actually how to run the Streamlit app. So I'm using Python debugger, and the module that I want to run is Streamlit. And then I have some pre-launch tasks that I want to run as well. So This is basically just running my Python virtual environment. So this is kind of something that's going to be unique to your application. You're going to have to make sure that you have this sort of thing set up for your VS Code, and then you can actually run the F5 debugger at that point. So now that we have Mirror D installed and I have my code changes in place, what I want to do is I actually want to test this code before I commit this and then build a new container image for testing actually on the cluster. But for now, I can test it as if I am on the cluster. So let's go ahead and hit F5 on my keyboard. You can also click the run and debug button over here in the left side of the VS Code editor, but F5 is just easier to push. And there we go. So now, because Mirror D has been enabled, the VS Code extension is asking me which pod I want to basically connect to. I do want to kind of mimic the Kaito chat demo that's actually running up in my remote cluster. And so I will go ahead and select this Kaito chat demo pod. So now it's going to check to see if the operator's on the pod. It's not there. It's going to install the container or the operator into the pod. And I should be ready to debug. And it looks like I am. And at this point, I can set some breakpoints here. So I'll just set a breakpoint over here when I'm making the request, because now, remember, I'm streaming the response. And then I can just go ahead and navigate over to the application. So now notice up here in the URL, I'm actually connected to my local instance of the Streamlit application, but the endpoint or the model that it's connected to is connected to the Kaito workspace that's up in my remote cluster. So all these environment variable configurations that came from the pod that's in the remote cluster, that's been pulled down, and now I can use that locally. So what was that question that I asked? I'll just copy the same exact question so I don't have to retype. There we go. Aha. So immediately you can see that it hit my breakpoint. And so I can just F10 through it and I can see this stuff line by line, right? So we can see what's in the response. We can see all of our watch variables over here on the side, which is cool. And so let's just remove that breakpoint and just hit continue. And there you can see that it is totally streaming the response and it's still going. Let's just see that again. So I'm just going to remove the breakpoint so we don't get stopped on it. And let's just copy the command, new chat. Okay, so there we go. Now we can see that number one, Mirror D is actually working on my local system connected to the AKS cluster that's in Azure. And it's actually making an inference call with the DeepSeek R1 model that's being hosted as a Kaito workspace. And so I'm able to just stream the answers to my local machine here. And so I can very easily see that the changes that I have locally is actually working. And I can now commit this change and build my container image and push it all up, and we should be good to go. So that was pretty easy. Getting started with Mirror D is really simple to do. There are other things that you can do, like stealing traffic. Let's say you want to do some real remote debugging. You can have all the remote traffic that's going to your pod actually be intercepted and have that traffic kind of be sent down to your local machine. So you can actually configure that. So if you just hover over the Mirror D, I guess a status icon down here, you can actually hit settings. And what that did was it dropped in a hidden folder, a .mirrord directory with the mirrord.json file. And now you have network incoming and outgoing variables set. And you can see that there's also the environment variable here. And so if you want, you can set the incoming network traffic to steal, right? Over here, set to mirror, right? So you can actually just steal all that traffic from the remote cluster. So one thing to note though, when it comes to like remote debugging, try not to do this in production, because now if you are stealing your remote target's traffic, your end user on the other end of that request may be waiting for you to actually step through the debugging process. So probably goes without saying, but just don't do this in production. So that's all I had. F5 debugging with Mirror D, just as easy as the other telepresence thing. So definitely feel free, reach out to the folks at Metal Bear if you want a deeper dive demo. Also check out on the AKS engineering blog. The friends at Mirror D, Gemma Tipper, actually wrote a really nice blog article on how to use Mirror D a little bit more in depth, especially around the AKS Store demo app. So highly recommend that you go check that out. So there we go.